Bum Podcast.
Podcast.
Between you and me.
Between you and me.
All right.
How you doing, sir?
I'm awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You doing all right? Could you be doing better?
I feel pretty good.
Okay. All right.
It's a chill good. I'm not
Yes.
over the top, overjoyed, but I mean, I'm all right.
How you feel about quarantine?
About quarantine?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We was just talking about it. I'm a little tired of certain aspects of it. Like we was just talking about, I want some food. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
eat at like a restaurant or something
Yeah.
with some 5 stars.
Got to get inoculated first.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All we got is we be eating home and then the occasional fast food, but we haven't actually
We haven't had no
sat down.
fast food.
I mean, not in a long time,
Yeah.
but just occasionally.
What?
I mean,
Like,
Popeyes is like
man,
fast
Popeyes
food.
the only fast food we had.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, yeah. So, and Bojangles, maybe because when we
Mhm.
on the road.
On the
Bojangles,
road.
Yeah. So anyway, we are now celebrating 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. Whoop,
1
whoop.
year. Whoop, whoop. A year ago, we decided, actually it was a little more than a year ago when we decided, but a year ago, we launched the Bum Podcast,
Yes.
Between You and Me podcast, and it's been a ride. It's been
It
a
has
ride.
been. It's been a crazy year.
It has.
It's like a lot has happened. You would think a lot wouldn't have happened based on the circumstances, but a lot has changed in a year.
Oh, a whole lot has changed in a year. And I don't even want to go into it, man, but a whole lot has changed. I mean, like, I think in this past year, I've had 5 years worth of change, if not 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's still some stuff that, that will be divulged in the future, but
Right.
it's been COVID, I can't take anything away from COVID. COVID has been a pandemic that has rocked our world. And I literally mean rocked our world. But based upon, I guess, the things that we've done around here and the way we've been able to benefit, or way we've been able to take lemons and turn them into lemonade,
Yeah.
it really hasn't been a bad effect. It's given us an opportunity to really reflect on some stuff, you know? To reflect on some stuff. And I think that's what we probably should talk about,
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's what today's gonna be. We're gonna be reflecting a little
on some
bit.
stuff. Yeah. So, but I will start out because I told you we like to do plus, minuses, and deltas whenever we complete an endeavor, and not that this
Yes,
endeavor
have
is
we
complete.
talked about this? I feel like we've had that talked about this at least a little bit.
Yeah, I think we
on the
have. I mean, because we
podcast.
probably plus, minuses, and deltas on a couple of our podcasts. But I just want to looking back on the year. I mean, what tell me the pluses looking back on the year.
The year, just like anything the year, or specifically with the
No.
podcast.
With the podcast.
Oh,
We
with
just
the
strictly
podcast.
podcast. 1 year anniversary.
The pluses, I mean, the majority of it would be pluses. For me, there weren't really any downsides to it. It was just kind of an idea that we had, and we just, in a year we still gonna be here. Might as well have a podcast a year from now. Is kind of how we started it off.
Well, yeah. No, yeah. I was just thinking about when the inception of the thought was we was on a boys trip.
Right.
It was on our boys trip in New Orleans, which is crazy because like New Orleans turned out to be one of the epic centers, right? And we were in New Orleans, the week after
the
Mardi
week after
Gras,
Mardi
man. The
Gras.
week after Mardi Gras, we was in
Which
New
was
Orleans.
actually, it was a good time.
It was
in New
it was a good
Orleans.
time. Man. We was just hanging out all over the place, man.
Right. And then we get back and find out like 80,000 people.
we get
It
we
was
get
kinda
back and
wild.
find out, man. Just like everybody, we flying like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we get back and find out everybody falling ill took
That's
over.
before you really how serious it set in, because then I went back to school and then
Right, and like
we got sent back from
immediately you got
school.
sent back from
Right.
school, man. I mean, there's this song say, "In the heart and mind, or to the heart and mind, ignorance is kind." So I guess it was kind.
It's crazy. I almost feel like that's so long ago.
Yeah,
Like this is just how life has been.
Yeah.
But it's only been about a year.
it's been a year.
That's
It's been a year.
wild.
Yeah, but we sat. I mean, because when we do our boys trips, we typically try to talk about some stuff. Just to reconnect, talk about things that might be on your mind, talk about things that might be on my mind, and we came up with the idea, the thought, because we didn't even actually know that. COVID was serious at the time. We just talked
Right.
about maybe trying to do some kind of podcast where we
Yeah.
do it long distance from school.
Because I remember even like the few days when I was back at school, like coming up to me coming home, just like me being with my friends, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with this COVID thing. Because at this point, it's mainly in other countries.
Right.
It hadn't really
Yep.
quite reached.
Yep.
And so I remember like when the first like celebrity came through that it's like, oh, they have COVID.
Yeah.
I we remember thinking like it was like one night. It's like maybe black people can't get it
I remember you
because it
telling
was
me
like
that.
only like different races of celebrities and things like that.
Yeah.
And then
And
shortly
athletes.
after we realized black people could get it, we were sent home from our
Yeah.
HBCUs.
Yeah.
So
It's funny because I even remember because I went on a cruise in January. Me and Daewon, and on the cruise, you know, we were on a cruise ship and we were looking, and they were talking about the coronavirus
Right.
in Wuhan, and I was thinking, man, that's a shame that they got that virus going on in China. It's a
Right.
good thing it ain't in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's mind blowing. But anyway, to get back to the point,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I'll go towards the pluses.
yeah,
So some pluses. I think everything's a plus, but getting into the nitty gritty, I think I started off kind of sentimental. I got to spend some time with my father.
there you go.
You feel me?
That's a good one. Yeah,
We got
yeah.
to. I mean, we typically talk pretty much. I mean, we be talking, chopping up ideas in general, but this has created like a formal space
Right,
and
right.
something that it happens each week, no
Right.
matter what. We get to even just the conversations we have, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. Sometimes those are pretty good conversations as well. So
Yeah, that was a huge plus for me. It really was. It was an opportunity. Excuse me, because honestly, coming off of I guess you were in your sophomore year at that time, and you had some bumps and bruises at school, and we would talk. And I can even remember, man, when you first came home from COVID, and we sat down and we were in a conversation, and we weren't meeting eye to eye.
yeah, we
man.
was definitely at each other's throats.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, man,
Yeah.
like this dude ain't gonna be able to stay here type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
We was definitely in a completely different place.
we were
Because I mean, I was off at college. It had been I guess a couple years since we had really had time to have conversation like this.
because you didn't
Just
even come
because
home for the
I
summer.
was gone.
Yeah,
Bro, it's funny because before I got sent home because of COVID, had always been a thing. Like I had never been home for more than like 3 weeks at the time since I left when I was.
yep. When you graduated from high
18?
school, yep.
I mean, I guess I was like 17
Yes, you were 17.
because I went off to school over the summer. Then I came back for like a couple weeks and then I left again.
Yep.
So since I like the tail end of me being 17 until me being almost 20, wasn't really home.
Yeah.
So
And so you had an opportunity to test all of your assumptions and grow and become mature in your man and your thought process that you were getting sustained in. And so, yeah, there were some things that we were definitely bumping heads on when you first came home. But the podcast
it's a
started.
real critical time of life.
Yeah, it was. It was. And and I'm gonna tell you, it's funny because like and this is a lesson for life for anybody that's listening. It's like you can
Crazy how
always
much can
pull
change in a year.
well, it is.
But
It is.
yeah, go ahead.
But you could always pull out the bad, but when you can look at the bad and create good, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so I think that's what happened to us. Because I mean, again, it was real testy. Because I remember the first conversation that we had, or the first real conversation we had when you came back, and like I was sitting on the sofa on one side, you were sitting on the other one.
Opposite sides of the room.
Man,
in
I was
the other
like,
house.
yeah, man, I was like, boy, and you know, and from that to get an opportunity to then sit across the room from you and do the podcast
Yeah.
and really start throwing out some ideas
Some
and
perspective.
you know, it's been amazing. And for me to see your maturity, you know what I'm saying? To see that you have a thought process, not just thoughts, but a thought process, which is
Right.
important. To see that you have a thought process and that you're able to articulate what your thought process is. I've learned that you read a lot. I've learned that
Yeah.
you check a whole lot of different sources. Quotes are your thing. It's so much so the things that I were able to, and that's one of the things that I thought about even in doing a podcast. It was like, you know, because we were going to be recording this and it was going to be going out, it was going to be an opportunity to lay bare some stuff
Right.
that we weren't going to be able to check. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And so it was like, if I say something to you, you know, we can discuss it, but we ain't going to go belligerent. You know what I'm saying? Or if
Right.
you say something, you know, that I don't like or I think is off the wall, you know, we have to discuss it intellectually, you know?
Right.
And so I think that was one of the greatest pluses.
It's funny because that's
to this.
even kind of where the name almost stemmed from with
Yeah.
or we always say agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
That's a big thing for us because a lot of times we be getting because I mean typically we think in a similar fashion.
Mhm.
A lot of things just come down to I guess age wise, how things were, the differences of the way things were when you grew up versus when I grew up, and really just where we are in our lives, I
Right,
guess.
right.
And so that sometimes we come to a spot where it's like, we'll agree to disagree. And so just the thought of even the podcast kind of stemmed from that whole.
Right.
I think we were like having a conversation, like whatever, we can agree to disagree.
We can agree to and it's funny because we really didn't disagree much.
Right.
And that was the thing that got me. I mean, and I guess as a father, like to understand the influence that I've had over you,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Not because you told me, but because I'm seeing again, like how you, I mean, because I'm a thought person. I'm a
Right.
big thought person. And to see you adapt and adopt that
Mhm.
is huge. It's huge.
You can see that the thought process that's similar to yours, but working outside of
Right.
outside of yourself.
You're not
It's
thinking
not like
like
you're
me.
telling me.
Right. You're not
Sometimes we have conversations and we just kind of come around to the same thing with the same type of thought process, even though we have it separately.
Yeah, and it's funny because sometimes you start on the West Coast and I start on the East Coast, but somehow
Right, and we end up in the middle.
We end up in the
I
middle.
was gonna say that's one of the biggest things that we found. There's not a whole lot of disagreement, but we just kind of have like slightly varying perspectives
Right.
on the topic,
Right.
and so we kind of just work those together, and like even check each other and find more of a What's the word? I'm thinking like unionized or whatever. I don't even know if that's the word, but like more of a union,
Unified.
unified.
That
That's the
is
word I'm trying to
unified.
think.
All right,
A
go.
unified, I guess, idea or concept, or
Yeah.
something that we can think about.
That was cool. The other thing that I think is huge, I don't know, it's so much has happened in this year.
Right.
I won't even say this year. So much has happened in the last 6 months, really, and conversations that we've had
Yeah.
that have just blossomed and ballooned based upon like just groundwork that's been laid during the podcast. Because
Right.
we've been talking about this whole legacy thing, you know what I'm saying? Getting it out the mud mentality.
Right, all
Just
that.
all of that kind of stuff. And it's all coming to a head right now, in a positive way. And again, it's and even oh man, it just even again, just seeing your level of maturity when it comes to just really thinking through what's going on and understanding the big picture. Like I know we were talking about, and again, it's not nothing we need to go into, but like we was talking about like the you was like, okay, I see you making that decision, but you need to make sure you make it now so that I can manage it in 10, 20, 30 years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just stuff like that. I think it's huge, and I think the groundwork was laid during the podcast, you know?
Mhm. And I can't remember exactly what you said, but it had me thinking about, I guess, kind of you seeing like the similarities in my thought process, and more so just seeing that I think things, but seeing that there's a process to how I come to how the ideas that I have are brought about. There's a
Right.
process to that.
Uh-huh.
And just like I'm naturally a very internalizing person, a very introspective person, and so I have a thought process, but it's not really shared. Especially with me being off at school, my thought process was never really shared.
Right.
And so having something where we sat down, we picked something, and then even like at times where we don't really like, we started off kind of more planned with the podcast. Like, all right, we're going to hit this point and this point.
Right,
and this should take
right.
about this much time.
Yeah, we did.
And we got to the point where it's really like, all right, we have this idea that we want to talk about. Bam, that's the podcast. Sit it out there, and we just kind of both organically think
Right,
through it
yeah,
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
podcast.
I mean, I guess
And
we did
so-
our own individual research, but yeah, as far as
Right.
like as far as scripting,
Right,
what we were
like,
going to
no
talk about, it
scripting.
was no script. It was just
We come with some thoughts about what we're going to talk about, and then we kind of just play off of each other and think with each other type thing.
Right.
So you
And
get
that's
to see
huge.
the thought process on both sides of that.
And I guess what I was trying to say a few minutes ago was, I guess the way our relationship has developed outside of the podcast
Mhm.
was done based upon how we've been able to communicate inside
Right.
the podcast.
Yeah.
I guess that's the biggest thing. And all those are pluses. Those are pluses. Minuses.
Minuses.
Yeah. Minuses.
I have another plus.
Okay, give me another.
Another plus is I guess documentation is kind of the thought I had, because even just in this conversation, it kind of makes me want to go back and listen to what the podcast sounded like
In the beginning?
when we first started,
Uh-huh.
when we weren't so much on accord. We were almost unified. I'm gonna get this word by the end of the podcast.
All right.
Unified on the idea of the podcast, and then we became more unified, I guess, relationship wise,
Right.
father son wise, as the podcast is going on. And it became more of a working together on it almost, instead of just like an idea that was bringing us together.
Right.
And so I think getting to see the process of that growth, they're getting to see us talking about what's been going on throughout this year, just like all of that's documented. So I think that's really cool.
And yeah, it would be cool to go back and listen to it. Almost put together a greatest hits video. I mean, you know what I'm
greatest
saying?
hits. That would take forever.
I know, but still, it'd be kind of cool.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory.
If we had an editor, maybe we would have greatest hits.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I got a minus. I had a plus based on what you were saying, but it escaped me. But we missed one podcast. Like we missed 1 week, and I'll say that was bad. And it wasn't really that we missed a week. I'm not even gonna lay the blame on anybody. I mean, like
I'll take the blame.
We recorded the podcast and we left time.
We were going on the road and we recorded the podcast, and it didn't get uploaded.
It didn't get uploaded. Didn't get uploaded. So we skipped.
The process started, but I came back. It was on the desktop. But yeah.
So we missed a week, and so that was that was a minus. And I mean, that wasn't a minus on you. It was just, I mean, to say that
it
we
had
had
nice
a
that we had it.
easy,
we was one off.
Yeah, man.
We missed one day in school.
Yep. There we go, man. We missed our pencil. So that's crazy.
It was a week of leave. You know, a sick week.
Yeah. I guess we get a vacation week.
Yeah, everybody get a couple days off.
Yeah, but other than that, man, we hit every week. Every Sunday this thing goes out, and I think this is awesome. Let me see if I'm any other minuses.
I can't really think of any minuses, especially just.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, especially based off of when we started, it was kind of just like, you know, we be having conversations anyway. We should document this in a way that maybe we can help some people with the conversations that we have, or share perspective. And so I think it was cool just from it being kind of like, it just had room to grow anywhere, and it kind of grew in a positive way for us. So I think in that way, I can't really just see any outright minuses about the process in itself.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you have another minus?
I couldn't think of any. I think we've done okay. I mean, I don't think there was very much that we didn't hit. We still ain't had our female conversation yet, but that's okay. That might be a minus. No, man. I mean, I take that back. We did have it. I recorded it. It was over an hour long too. I never released it.
That was the only one we was about fighting on.
Yep. I recorded it, but I never released it. I got it.
That was early on.
Yeah, that was early on. Early on.
It's funny because even what has it changed a lot then? I think my outcome's still about the same, but I mean, my thought process has changed a whole lot since then. Now I think about everything that's happened since then. That was for this summer. My thought process has changed a whole lot since then. That's crazy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to share?
Maybe we'll have that conversation one day.
Okay.
I doubt it, but maybe.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Cool. Deltas. Yeah.
I was thinking about the fine young women for a second. The Deltas.
Oh no.
You know, shout out to my Deltas.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
I'm gonna see y'all on campus.
Hey, I'm looking for a daughter-in-law, Delta.
But Deltas, things to change. I don't know. What do you think? I'll let you go first.
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you a plus,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna give you a minus, and then I'm gonna give you a delta. All to deal with the same thing.
Okay.
All right. So the plus is we've had a few sessions where we've had guests, right? So I think we had.
I think those are always cool.
Right. So that's the plus we did. We integrated other people into the podcast,
Right.
which is cool. We did had the father Anthony and his sons, right? Anthony Smith and Anthony Smith Jr. and oh man, I shouldn't have called the name.
That's what I was saying.
Joshua Smith. There we go. Sorry about that. Anthony Joshua and Anthony Smith Sr. And then we had one where we had Chana Rivers. Remember, Chana came on and we talked about from a young lady's viewpoint, a young lady's perspective. And then
I can't even remember what we were talking about for that one.
It was the one that you had.
Was that relationship?
It was relationship because you had a quote that you threw out, and then you asked her to give her perspective.
And then we talked to some other people too.
We did. We had
ladies?
Sierra and
Hey man, that's
Aria,
you calling out.
Aria,
Oh yeah, Aria.
Aria.
Okay.
Yeah. Sierra and Aria came on, and we talked about
That was almost like that was another relationship one.
Well, that wasn't
It
that
wasn't a
wasn't relationship. That's more like
It was more
a young lady's point of view.
right.
They gave a young lady's point of view. The one with Chaina was a relationship.
Just on life and like how men could better serve
Right. There we go. How we could better serve them, how we could better protect
the
them.
women of our community.
Right.
Yeah.
So those were cool. And so those are pluses. The minus is that we didn't have more of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I wish we could have integrated more of them. And so with that, the delta would be
That
that
could
as we
maybe more.
continue this, that
Yeah.
we could. As a matter of fact, I do have one that I mentioned to you a month or so, maybe 2 months ago or so.
I probably forgot about that. But go ahead.
Well, I was talking about bringing on somebody. We were going to talk about help me help you. Remember that?
I hear the words.
Okay, well, don't worry about it.
Concept.
Well, we're gonna jump on that one because I've already alerted the person that
Okay.
it's time to get it done. So help me help you. I think it's gonna be a powerful one as well. So that would be my delta, is to do more collaborative work so that the word can spread, the ideas can spread. Because I think good stuff comes out of this.
Yeah.
And the number of social media outlets that we're on, I think that's a big plus.
Oh yeah. I think well, that was another plus I was gonna give, is just getting used to the process, the technology. I know it's good for me as someone that kind of does this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a part of like music and recording and all that. I mean, I'm sure it's good for you too as well, though.
Yeah, because I like. Talking helps me. I mean, because it's funny because I deal with young people all the time.
Mhm.
Hearing your perspective and hearing you bring to bear some of the things that you and your friends talk about. That's a huge plus for me
Right.
because I'm able to articulate that and understand that when I hear it coming from other people. So
Yeah, because we have a lot of conversations that come back to the whole point of, well, based on the paradigm of culture and society right now and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
um,
any more delta?
that's my only delta. I don't have any more delta.
Do I have any more delta? I don't know. I'd have to think. I probably should have came to the table with some.
Yeah, probably could have because
I mean, I feel like we could get we could be bigger
what does that mean?
as far as not fan base bigger, but like bigger in production wise. Like start thinking of some ways. How can we now go forth and improve more?
Well-
I don't really have any that jump out at me right
Well,
now.
well, it's interesting because I've actually recorded a few of these video wise.
I mean, we definitely have improved over the time.
Right. But the biggest thing is now, I mean, you're going to now be moving shop. And
But, right, so we have to figure that out.
yeah, that's going to be difficult unless, I mean, we make it once a month we get together in video. I mean, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be hot, but, because, yeah, people are visual.
I mean, I guess it could become, video could be something that changes.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That would be a new form of editing that is new to both of us.
Yes, it will. To you.
You said to me? Why you saying I got to do it? I don't know, but I might have to get a raise in my salary.
Woo, I can raise you. I'll double your salary. All right, so I'm gonna throw out some. I pulled up a list of what we talked about, and I'm just gonna throw some out and see what you thought. Well, the first, just throw some out and see if you remember what we talked about. The first one was in a name, which was kind of cool.
Okay,
being that
so
we
kind of like some highlights.
Yeah, some highlights, and so
what's the name? That was the first one.
That was the very first one. What's in the name?
That was cool. We talked about. I mean, that kind of started the talk of legacy almost. In a way.
It did, and that's which is funny. It really did. The very first one we started with legacy, and we left it and
we
came
talked
back.
about passing down the name. We talked about what went into us deciding the name for the podcast, which is really just that was almost a passing down of something as well. So
yeah, that was cool. What's in the name?
I think that was a good start.
Yeah.
What's in the name? I think that's a hot title. I'm sure you came up with it.
I did, but that's okay. We had, I guess, the next three we talked about. We went through a list of things that Dad should teach his sons, and so
that was funny.
That was funny.
That was a funny time. I remember what was it, like carving a turkey?
Yep.
I remember that.
It's funny. I'm going through this now. So the next one was 5 quotes, and so each of us had 5.
Oh, that was dope. We should do that again. Yeah. I wanted to do that again.
We can do
maybe
that
some quotes for 2021.
We can do that. Let's do that. We could definitely schedule to do that one. The next one I got to take a lick on, man, because I forgot about it, and it just hit me full circle. Right?
What was it?
Mother's Day.
Oh yeah.
Remember your mom came on?
I did do that.
Yeah, man. And so I didn't even give her props, man, for the collaboration. But yeah,
I thought that was a cool one.
That was a cool one because we let her run the show. And she talked a lot about you. So hey, Mother's Day coming up again. Maybe we get everybody on here for a follow-up edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna
Things
look at
have
that.
changed.
That was
Might as
Mother's
well.
Day. Yeah, we talked about Boys Trip. We talked about Friends,
Mm-hmm.
handling conflict.
What were some of your favorite?
Oh man, you want me to tell you my favorite? All of them was my favorite.
Uh,
Impact Theory,
that's a trash answer.
whatever, man.
I think Impact Theory was cool. I liked the quotes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the collaboration ones. I really liked the relationship one though.
Okay, that was cool. That was cool. You
I'd
know what?
say that was one of my favorite ones.
We can have her to come back on too, maybe.
Sure, why not?
Maybe. We talked about
I
crucial
haven't talked to her in a
conversations.
minute.
Yeah, we talked
Crucial
about crucial conversations.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I liked that one. I wish I had the list.
I mean, you could do the same thing I did. I just pulled it up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's out there on the web.
It is on the web.
Let's see what else we got here. COVID in college. We talked about COVID in college.
Remember that one?
Lives that are Black matter. You know, I like that one.
That was a cool one.
Yeah, lives that are Black matter. We did relationships 1 and 2. Dreamers versus doers.
That was a cool one. There's a more recent one that I like too. What else you got on there?
I'm here. You want this one?
Oh, well, yeah,
there you go.
That's cool.
You tell me
Okay, I see what you're going through because they're kind of big.
Yeah.
Mentorship was a good one.
That was a good one. Benevolence, I like.
Yeah, I saw Benevolence. I figured you like that one.
Yeah, because I need you to get in the mindset of giving more.
Mm. I was going backwards. All right. We talked about Juice and Black. Girl Like Me was dope. I liked that one.
Oh yeah,
that
man.
was my type of one.
Yeah,
that's when we
Girl
talked
Like
about
Me.
the Jasmine Sullivan.
I just watched the Jasmine Sullivan. She was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. She did a live set on Jimmy Kimmel. And I just watched that today, man.
That was cool.
And that, and that's the other thing that's been a positive, I guess. Maybe.
Well,
so
I'll save it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, because you shared a lot of your music with us while you were home, and that was really kind of cool because
you didn't know I was making music.
No, not the music.
You was treating me like I was trash.
Well, you were trash. You are trash. But no, I was talking more about the music that you listen to.
Oh.
The music that you listen to.
And you've been through a whole bunch of new, like different stuff.
Right. Yeah. That's
I definitely listen to different stuff now. I mean, I always listen to like a bunch of weird, eclectic.
Right. You have.
Huge range. But it's been growing even lately. I be coming downstairs and be like, oh, you gotta hear this groove. Because I'm listening to Japanese music right now. But yeah. The one that I was gonna do is Ask a Bump. That was one of my favorite ones. Definitely. Ask a Bump was dope.
Oh yeah, we did 2 parts of Ask a Bump.
Yeah, 2 parts.
That's when the people sent in their information and we had to answer those questions.
That was really cool. I like doing those stuff.
Yeah.
I like interviews. So interviews are fun for me.
Well, maybe that's what we need to do. We need to I don't know. Maybe we need to how do we pull that off?
I don't know.
Have somebody to interview us.
Yeah. Pick a topic. See if someone wants to pick our brain or something.
Yeah, so if you listen to this and you decide that you want to interview us, you got some questions, hit us up because we want to do an interview session. And we're going to answer any questions that you might have that don't get us in trouble. Yeah.
I'll answer all of them. I don't care.
So yeah, man, just going, communication, Judas and the Black Messiah, 7 verses of Manhood. There's a lot of stuff that we've covered during the podcast over this past year that really stretched me, stretched my thinking, stretched.
Yeah, you can see that I'm not crazy or nothing. I'm a little intelligent. You feel me? I be knowing what I'm talking about.
I don't even know how to respond to that, but
because he knows it's right. But it's all right. You ain't gotta.
I don't even know.
You don't need no witty comeback or nothing. You can say, you know what, you right, son. You a great guy.
If you were. But no, it's been cool sitting over on this side of the room, being able to look at you and look at your maturity. To again hear your thought process. And I guess it's not even for me a matter of you being right or it's a matter of understanding that
I'm searching for the answers.
No. Let me finish my conversation, man.
Whatever, man.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there, man. It's me understanding that you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing because as a father, realizing that first of all, you're getting ready to start your senior year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's huge. That's huge. And so even though this thing started with the get out date and at 18 you were supposed to leave and I got an opportunity to see
this is a very like pigs fly almost type of year. You didn't follow that?
No.
When pigs fly. Like you say something to me like, when pigs fly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because this wasn't gonna happen,
man,
at
look,
all.
look,
I wasn't coming back.
that's right. That's right. Because man, God got a funny way. God has a funny way of something. I'm gonna tell you, and I think it's been good. Again, I
think it's been great.
man, notwithstanding, I'm telling you, I'm not minimizing the impact that COVID has had on so many people's lives. I'm not minimizing it at all. But when I tell you that the gift that COVID gave my family,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? The gift that COVID gave my family, it was a blessing. I mean, COVID wasn't a blessing. The gift that I received from it,
but the pause that came from
right,
it
the
was a
pause that
blessing.
came from it was a pause. It was a reset. It was a recalibrate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's getting back to a place where it's going to be a relaunch.
Right.
And because I've had this year to at least sit across the room from you and talk, I can see now that you're going to be all right. That like you have thought processes and like you know.
I was doing crazy things. I wasn't going crazy.
Can't tell the difference. But anyway, but that's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, especially now because I mean, and we talked about this. I don't remember. We talked about. I guess it was COVID in college or something.
Right.
We talked about this in one of the podcasts where I talked about, or maybe it was the one that people sent their conversations. I mean, their questions in. But we talked about how when people go back on the college campus, they're going to be wilding out because they haven't been on campus for over a year.
Yeah.
You know, but realizing that you have a different agenda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And knowing that you know that. I mean, if you do something crazy, it's not going to be because you were ignorant. It's going to be because you want to do something crazy. Knowing that you know that the stakes are high and knowing that you have the mentality to overcome it and succeed and excel at it is big, especially for a father. That's big because I don't have to worry about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to life right now.
I'm glad.
I was just talking to some friends. It might have been yesterday. It's like it's grind season.
It is.
It's time to see. I'm excited to see how I turn out as well.
That's good. Yeah. That's yeah. And even when I was your age, I couldn't even have this conversation. I mean, I was married, but I mean,
that was another realization I had over the quarantine was that y'all was married.
Yeah.
Like y'all was married at my age.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm far from it.
We were. Yeah, you way far from it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, yeah, what I was gonna say, because you cut me off. It has something to do with you being ready for life. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. At your age, I wasn't doing this, but shortly thereafter, well, not even shortly thereafter, probably around the age of 25 or so, the way I started defining my life was by gut checks and reality. Gut checks and reality moves. And there are things that happen in your life where you get a gut check, and then you can decide whether you're going to succumb to the gut check or you're going to make a reality move, you know? And I know you're equipped to make reality moves.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been a good year.
It's been a good year. It's been a good year. And for
productive
y'all,
year.
Huh?
That's a productive year.
Productive. And for all y'all who rode along with us for this entire year, we appreciate you all.
We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all. For those of y'all who drop comments on, like again on social media or on our Podbean account, or even sent personally, or person to person, or sent text messages. I mean, we really appreciate it, and we don't take it lightly. We don't take it lightly. We thank you for spending the time with us. And again, I mean, we offer you all the opportunity to, if you got any topics you want us to discuss, you want to hear us talk about, let us know. We'll do it. If you want to come on and spend some time with us doing the podcast, talking about something that you want us to talk about, we open to that, and we look for somebody to interview us, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm down.
All right. Yeah. So, what else is there?
That's it.
You good?
Yeah, that's a wrap on the year.
That's a wrap on the year, man. So, Bum Podcast.
We made it.
We
Bum
made it.
Podcast.
Between you and me.
Between you and me. Holla.
Holla.